So, I'm gonna just kick it off and just start asking questions, right? So I have a list of questions. And I was trying to think just based on just some of the conversation that we've already had, what would be a really good question. And so I have one, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. So my first question is, what unique challenges do you face as a mother raising a black son or sons, and how do you address them?
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. For me, one of the challenges is that I am a single mother, right? But my single motherhood doesn't look like some other people's single motherhood. I don't have the co-parent. I don't have the other family. I co-parent with my family. So that was one of the biggest challenges, but I knew as soon as the doctor was like, it's a boy, I'm like, let me start hanging around some guys that I can see my son me wanting my son to be like when he gets older, right? As well as looking for childcare that has male childcare providers. You know what I mean? Because he needs to see those kind of people in those spaces, making sure that he has a relationship with my father, my stepfather, and like I said, just the men who I think are good men in my life. So it was some changes to friendships and relationships and things of that sort for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What would you say?
Can you repeat the question one more
The
time?
question is, how do you, what unique challenges do you face as a mother raising a black son or sons, and how do you address them?
I think, you know, everyone's situation is so unique. And for me, I birthed a girl. You know, I have a daughter, and I inherited two sons. One from my husband, who is a biracial, half black, half Eastern European, Ukrainian boy. And I have my brother, who I grew up in a very toxic environment. I was raised by my grandparents. My mother did the best she could, had me in high school. I had some substance abuse issues. And I've always inherited this title as being a mother, taking care of my brother. But for me, having him full time and having a blended family as a black woman, it's very different. It looks very different. The dynamic is different just because it's a blended family, but because I'm always operating through the lens like we are as black women. So I'm taking and nurturing these individual boys into future men. So I'm trying to parent on an individual personality perspective. And then at the same time, I'm looking at the system. So I have to raise him into the system because they're only going to be kids for so long. And that's how as a mother, that's how I parent always, even with my daughter. You're only going to be you always be mama's baby, but
Right.
you're not going to be a baby forever. So I have to think about, okay, how does the world view my boys? So I have to, unfortunately, but be more realistic and think about the systems that they're going to be confronted against. Racism is a real thing, discrimination, even just, you know, with schools. You know, we have a lot of educators here, and you know how oftentimes boys are overrepresented in behavioral issues. They're overrepresented in, you know, the system. You know, the school to prison pipeline is a big real thing. So you're always keeping that, at least I am, in the back of my mind. So when I'm getting reports from school, I'm thinking about, you know, is this, you know, an actual behavioral issues, or is it also compounded by potential discrimination? And how is my child internalizing those things? So I'm, you know, for me, I'm always thinking about it from that perspective, both system and individual.